Welcome to Gamelab Studio. This tour walks you through the full asset pipeline: projects, assets, camera and subject orientations, and generating images, videos, and sprite sheets. Projects are where you group all the assets for a game or idea. Click New Project to start, give it a name, and then open it from this grid. Within a project, assets represent specific characters, props, or items in your game. Each asset can have multiple camera and subject orientations, and thus multiple images, animations, and sprite sheets. Click New Asset to set up an asset. Here, you can manage the camera and subject orientations for this asset. Choose a camera view and a subject orientation to define how the camera views your subject and which direction the subject is facing. Once you set these, you can generate images, animations, and sprite sheets for this orientation. If you need more orientations, simply switch the camera or subject orientation and generate again. You can see which orientation combinations have been generated, indicated by the green dot next to the orientation name in the dropdown. We will use the left side camera view and west subject orientation for this example. First, generate a still image for this orientation, or upload an existing image. This dialog controls how your still images is created. Set a clear prompt describing the subject of this asset and style. You can also upload a reference image to help the generator understand your desired style and content. Then, set the dimensions and enable chroma key to give the background a solid color that will be used to give a transparent background when you build sprite sheets. It's best to choose a color for the chroma key that is not close to the colors that will be in your subject. Here is your generated image for this asset. This still frame becomes the visual foundation for any animations for this orientation you create next. So its style, camera, and subject orientation should match how you want the character or object to appear. Next, use the animation to bring your still image to life. Start by creating a new animation name. Each animation can represent a behavior, like idle, walk, drive, fly, or attack, and will reuse the same underlying asset image for this orientation. We will use the name fly for this example. Click Generate Animation to set this up. This dialog defines how the animation should look. You can keep dimensions consistent with the image. Choose 2D style and centering, and enable chroma key, so your sprite sheet later has a clean, removable background across every frame. This animation is built from your image and orientation settings. Once you're happy with the motion, you can now export it as a sprite sheet for use in your game engine, keeping timing and framing consistent with what you see here. With an animation ready, the sprite sheet card lets you convert it into a grid of frames. Sprite sheets are how 2D game engines expect animations to be stored and played back. This dialog controls how frames from the animation are laid out. Use FPS and length to choose how many frames you get, then set columns, rows, padding, and chroma key options so each frame is easy to index and blend in your game. This is where the chroma key comes into play. We will use the same color as the one we used for the image generation to make the background transparent now on our sprite sheet. This sprite sheet was generated from your animation. You can download it directly and plug it into your engine or tools pipeline using the FPS and layout settings you chose to drive how the animation plays back in-game. And that's it. That's the full flow. Project to asset, to image, to animation, to sprite sheet. You're ready to start creating assets for your own games.